So, here, children, in our chapter Heredity and Evolution, we have covered almost all the parts, and here we are going to just have a look till now what we have studied. Differences between acquired and inherited traits. So, what are acquired traits? An acquired trait is experienced by an individual during his lifetime. It involves changes in non reproductive tissues or somatic cells, which cannot be passed on to the germ cells or progeny. For example, calluses on feet, scars, good looking skills, knowing to ride a bike, etc. These are all acquired traits. Now, what are inherited traits? Inherited trait is a distinguishing quality or characteristic which one acquires from the ancestors. These involve changes in the DNA, hence, they are transmitted to the progeny. For example, height, eye color, blood type, hair color, etc. Okay, here are few examples which you can go through to understand what are inherited trait and what are acquired trait. Acquired traits will not go to the offsprings. Now, this is how Charles Darwin and Mendel have gone through the understandings of inheritance and evolution. This is some interesting fact. A beetle in Africa is weighing 99.22 grams. Some beetles are even smaller than protozoa. We are more concerned about the Mendel and his experiments. The individuals of a family, parents and offsprings, have more similarity in comparison to others. This is because certain characteristics are passed from the parents to the offsprings without any variation. Heredity is defined as the transmission of characteristics from one generation to another. These characteristics may be physical, mental, or physiological. So, this is the definition how you are going to define heredity. Now, commonly observed heritable features are curly hair, a particular type of earlobe, hair on ears, etc. Transmission of traits from the parents to progeny. This was actually Mendel's work. What did he work on? Transmission of traits from the parents to the progeny. Here is Gregor John Mendel, 1822 to 1884. This was his lifespan. Was the first to carry out the study on the transmission of characteristics from the parents to the offsprings. He proposed that heredity is controlled by factors which are now believed to be segments of chromosomes or genes. So, at the time of Mendel, the word genes was not there. So, he used the term factors. Fine. While describing his experiments, Mendel has used the word factors. The word gene or chromosome came afterwards, very late. Mendel performed experiments on a garden pea, and the name of that is, botanical name is Pisum sativum. Garden pea plant pe Mendel has done the work. Its name is Pisum sativum, botanical name, with different visible contrasting characters. He selected 7 contrasting pairs of characters or traits in a garden pea. These include round or wrinkled seeds, tall or short plants, green or yellow pod color, purple or white flower color, axial or terminal flower, green or yellow seed color, and inflated or pinched ripe pods. Mendel's experiment. Mendel performed experiments in 3 stages. First is selection of true breeding parents. then obtaining the F1 generation plants, and then he self-pollinated the F1 plants to generation F2 and F3 plants. This is how Mendel has done his experiment. First of all, he selected the true breeding parents, obtaining F1 plants, and then self-pollination of F1 plants to generate F2 and F3 plants. Now coming to the selection of parents. Mendel selected true breeding pea plants with contrasting characteristics for his experiment. True breeding plant is the one that produces an offspring with the same characteristics on self-pollination. For example, a tall plant is said to be true breeding when all its progeny formed after self-pollination are tall. Fine. From here you know what is the meaning of true breeding. Now production of F1 plants. F1 generation is the first filial generation. It is formed after crossing the desirable parents. For example, Mendel crossed a pure tall pea plant with a pure dwarf pea plant. All F1 plants were found to be tall. Here keep into account the word pure. Okay. Next is results of self-pollination of F1 plants. Mendel found that on self-pollination of F1 plants, the progenies obtained in F2 generation were not all tall plants. Instead, 1/4 of F2 plants were found to be short. So this was the change when he further pollinated the F1 plants. When F1 plants were self-pollinated, then there was a change in the result which he was getting in the F1 generation. Mendel's explanation for the reappearance of the short trait. Now what did Mendel say? When 1/4 of the plants came again which were not shown in the F1 generation but they came in the F2 generation. So what Mendel has explained about that? For this experiment, Mendel concluded that F1 tall plants were not true breeding. They were carrying both short and tall height traits. Okay, though they were not appearing, but they were having both the traits. They appeared tall because tall trait was dominant over short trait. This is what Mendel concluded. Now, dominant trait. It is a trait or characteristic which is able to express itself over another contrasting trait. For example, tall plants are dominant over short plants. Now, recessive trait. It is a trait which is unable to express its effect in the presence of the dominant trait. So, recessive trait is not expressing itself till the dominant trait is present. Once the dominant trait is not present, then recessive trait will express itself. Mendel represented the dominant trait as uppercase, that is capital T, and the recessive trait as lowercase, that is short t for shortness. These traits are actually the genes present in the chromosomes of a cell. Thus, Mendel's experiment can be represented as follows. This you have in your NCERT textbook also. This you have to make in your notebook. F1 generation, then selfing of the F1 generation is done, self-pollination of the F1 generation, and then we get the result in the F2 generation. Revival of the trait that was unexpressed in F1 dwarf, that is dwarf. This trait was not expressed in the F1 generation, no. So, revival of the trait that was unexpressed in F1 was observed in some F2 progeny. Both traits, tall and dwarf, were expressed in F2 generation. in ratio 3:1. Mendel proposed that something is being passed unchanged from generation to generation. So what he concluded from here, that though something is getting passed from one generation to generation and which is not changing itself. Why? Because dwarfness was not shown in the F1 generation, but it has appeared in the F2 generation without any change. Okay, so he called these things as factors, presently called as genes. Factors contain and carry hereditary information. What he said that time? That these are the factors which are passing from one generation to another generation without being changed. And these factors are containing the hereditary information. This is what Mendel has said. Now, traits may also show up in an individual but are passed on to the next generation. Inheritance of traits over 2 generations. The appearance of F1 plant was similar to their parents, that is, they were tall but were actually different from their parents. Mendel introduced the term genotype and phenotype. These two terms Mendel has introduced. Though the plants were tall, but they were actually different from their parents. That means their inner combination was different. Genotype is the genetic constitution of an organism, which includes all genes that are inherited from both the parents. For example, here you have seen the way genotypes are denoted with reference to their height. Now, phenotype is the observable trait. That means which you are able to observe, see, or externally which is seen, or characteristics of an organism which is the result of genotype. So, phenotype is the result of genotype. The way the genotype is, accordingly the phenotype will be visible. For example, tallness and shortness are phenotypes resulting from different genotypes. The above experiment of Mendel involved only one pair of contrasting character, that is tall short plant height, so it is called a monohybrid cross. If two pairs of the contrasting characters are involved, then the cross is termed as dihybrid cross. Fine. Inheritance of two genes, dihybrid cross. Now, in dihybrid cross, we consider two characters, example seed color and seed shape. Two things we are taking into account here. Seed color, that is color of the seed, as well as the shape of the seed. Yellow color and round shape is dominant over green color and wrinkled shape. So this is how the homozygous parents are taken, round yellow, wrinkled green, and their gametes you can see. After that, F1 generation plant, when the homozygous parent is there with two characters, the gametes also you can see. The dominant is one side in the yellow color circle and the recessive is in the green circle. Then we are getting the F1 generation plant as the round and yellow. That is, only the dominant trait is being expressed in the F1 generation. Now, after getting the gametes from this generation and we are now selfing it, then what is happening? Row and column wise you can see one row and the first column. When you see the first row and the first column, the topmost is the round yellow. Likewise, you can see the dominant traits and accordingly we will name them. After making the box, this is the Punnett's square or the checkerboard method. This is the way you have to fill the box as well as try to color them accordingly and see how many round yellow flowers are there, how many wrinkled yellow are there, how many round green are there, and then how many wrinkled green we find. After studying that box, we have come to see that the phenotypic ratio is 9:3:3:1. That is the appearance wise the plant which we are seeing. Round yellow 9, round green 3, wrinkled yellow 3 and wrinkled green 1. From here, Mendel came to the law of inheritance. So, after the dihybrid cross, there was Mendel's laws of inheritance. This we will study in our next class. Okay? Thank you, children.